When you hear Nick Saban talk about Bryce Young, his quarterback, and about how he's going to be making $1 million before he even basically steps on the field, and how hard it is going to be with the discrepancy of the other kids in his team, it's all about money. And we talked about this yesterday. Chris Brockman and I were talking about tradition, and I love college football. I miss the traditions of it, and I always found that to be one of the most appealing things about it. But isn't this going to be, Bruce Feldman, just more of the rich get richer and the bigger teams will just get more money and more attention? How will this keep college football competitive?
I'm not sure it will in the same way. Like what you said a minute ago, the rich get richer, that is exactly what's going to happen. And I talked to, there was a Pac-12 Media Days were yesterday out in Hollywood, and there was a lot of talk in the, in the lobbies and in the hallways of what exactly does this mean. And one of the administrators at one of these programs had made the case, with all these financial resources and the windfall of money that is going to just, blow through some of these heavyweight programs or programs with these big deals, that it's going to change. And I was like, well, how much money are we, you're talking about coaching salaries. And so are we going to see coordinators making $4 million a year at some programs now, whereas that'll be double what head coaches will make in a lot of places? I mean, the coaching salaries have blown up so dramatically in the last 10 years, really even the last 5 years, that if you're talking about where the TV money is going to go, I mean, because already you're seeing, like the facilities kind of war games of just how much more money are they throwing into this left and right. And yeah, there's great resources for student athletes on these campuses, but when you start talking about all the other stuff that's coming with it, I don't know how how a lot of the other ones they're not going to be able to compete with that, because they're pushing the money so the money's going to go in such a haves and have-nots space that it's going to, I don't want to say it's going to change the game to the point where fans won't recognize it, because at the end of the day, it's still going to be football, college football on the field. But I think what you're going to have is a lot of programs are going to be marginalized. They will still have their own fans who will still hopefully be passionate about those teams, but it's going to be such a disparity between the haves and the have-nots, even more so than it's been. And that's saying a lot, because it's not like the NFL, or it's not like other pro sports where there's some system of parity that's kind of built in, whether it's a draft or salary caps or different things. You're going to see such an astronomical shift if the money keeps going the way it does, and that's just going to be a reality of it. I don't see anything that's going to slow that down as the TV dollars keep piling in for certain programs and they don't for others.
Bruce, give me something hopeful for college football before we wrap up today. I need a little string to hold on to as we're here in July, because boy, it's a whole lot of heavy right now in college football.
It is. The one thing I would say, and this is from having been at 3 different conference media days in the last 2 weeks between the Big 12, the Big 10, and the Pac-12, there's a lot of really, really impressive 20, 21, 22-year-old people out there in college football who are on these teams, and they have a voice that they have never had before, in part because of social media. Some of it's going to be related to NIL. And I think it's not to say that we did not have a lot of really thoughtful people who know how to use their voice years ago, but I think there's just now more opportunity. I think they have come up in a different way, and I was really blown away by some of the people I've met in how they present themselves and what they want to do with their platforms and how they want to reach people. And I think there's a lot of really strong voices coming up. And I'm just talking really just in terms of just the college football world. And I've had conversations with athletes I know one of the players at UCLA, and I had a conversation with him about a month ago, and he just kind of raved about some of the female athletes in the UCLA athletic program that he knows and that what they are doing and what they're about. And I think there is a generation of these athletes who have their eyes open. And I think those are people who are really empowered. And I think those are things that are really encouraging just beyond what's going on the field and the actual competition of how they're going to help influence things for a lot of positivity.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.